in Mexico, where it's raining, about to snow. Ice storms in Tennessee. Oh my God.
Delivering it somewhere else.
What?
My fucking shit, man.
All right, no reason to cuss. All we gotta do is get it fixed, Chris. One of our neighbors has it, for sure. But you think by now they would know where our address is. You know what I mean? Keep that ice over there with y'all. No, it's coming your way, bro. It's coming your way. So I just posted a video. I watched. I'm sorry, that piece of skin was bothering me. I watched Brian behind Pack Flicks video on Brandon Tatum when he said about the Tyree Nichols killing. Dude, it's fucking sick, man. The dude's the epitome of the sickness that the society suffers. It really is. The dude genuinely believes. Like I don't understand. It's confirmation bias at its finest.
At the end of the day.
It's confirmation bias at its finest. When there's a big thing on the other side.
They know it too. I'm complaining.
You should. You know, a lot of people don't know what confirmation bias is. So confirmation bias is when I believe something that may or may not be wrong. But I believe I'm right because everybody around me believes this says the same thing. So, like, if I looked at the sky and said the sky's red, and all my subscribers agree with me that the sky was red, but everybody else in the world said the sky was blue, I'm like, oh, dude, it's red. I know it's red. You're fucking ignorant. You know what I'm talking about, right? And it's a disease suffering in society. So Brandon Tatum suffers from this greatly, and he does because he has like 2 million plus subscribers that are bootleggers, a bunch of sheep that are too stupid to ask themselves even the most basic questions. You know, it's always you must comply. His reason is that when an officer, because you call them officers, you got to show them respect, right? They're not a standing army, but they're called officers, and they're corporals and sergeants and lieutenants and captains and even chiefs. Where have I heard those labels before? They're not a standing army, guys. No. But his reason is that if you just obey, you get to live, and you should be happy about that. But if you don't do anything wrong, why should you obey? Why should you obey anyway? But especially if you've done nothing wrong. You know, in my video, I challenged Tatum to make a video looking at his wife and telling his wife, if, in the case that God forbid that she, a rapist ever attacked her and was, you know, aiming to rape her, that she just complies. He has the authority because he believes he does. She must respect that authority and obey. Or jockstrap down and let the rapist get to it, I guess. He'll never see it because he's too big to care about what, you know, little old me says, but that's not really the point. The point is that dude's fucking sick for real. He said that, I've already said all this in that video, so it don't matter, but he said that, you know, the chief of police down there comparing it to the Rodney King beating was out of line, that it doesn't compare to the Rodney King beating, and I agree with him on that. It doesn't compare to the Rodney King beating because Rodney King fucking lived to smoke a lot of crack at a later date. Tyree Nichols isn't living. No, he's dead. You know, there has to come a point in time, man. I generally hope that there's a point in time where people wake up to what's going on and how it's actually happening and what the core of the problems are. I doubt it's going to happen. I hope it happens, but I doubt it's ever going to happen. And that's because people are just stupid. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Stupid. They're so motherfucking stupid. It's 2 O's. Right? They don't get a U. They get 2 O's. They're so stupid. Stupid. That's a Tech T line. They're so motherfucking stupid. They get 2 O's.
I don't know about the 2 O's. Me and Buddy always did that to each other.
Stupid. I mean, I wish nothing but the worst for Tatum and his family, for all cops and their families. And I know some people are going to say that's fucked up. You say that about your families, but here's the thing: these people genuinely believe their family members who are thugs are heroes. They genuinely believe that because it's been shoved down their throats through an ignorant society for their whole lives. So what you will have is a bunch of little thugs. You know, Daddy was a thug. So now that, you know, if Daddy ever goes away, now there needs to be junior thugs. Because that would make Daddy proud that they're thugs. And they'll go out and be thugs and what people say. What happened to Tyree Nichols? If he wouldn't have died, you would have never heard about it. Guarantee you. Like I said, I'm really curious to see. I would love to be able to trace the money they got these dudes out of jail. This should be public record. We should FOIA request the information and see what bondsman got them out. And then, I don't know, it's a private business, so I doubt there's much you can do to get into records, but I would like to see those records, see how much money was paid and all that shit. I would bet very small amounts of money were paid to get them out. I bet there was a phone call made to those bondsmen. I bet the bondsmen got them out in exchange for something. Like, for instance, maybe the bondsman owed the court $100,000 or something for somebody else to jump on. Maybe it wasn't worked out to where, hey, you know, you get these. Nothing's going to happen to these dudes. If anything happens to them, it's going to happen to the one guy that punched him repeatedly. They're not going to do anything to the other guys because you put a bunch of dudes on the stand, or a bunch of dudes as defendants, especially in the courtroom at one time. They're all going to be co-defendants. They're not going to separate the trial because it was one crime. All of them commit that same acts at the same time. So there's going to be 5 fucking cops sitting there. And yeah, they're still cops. Even though they were fired, they're still fucking pigs. And the jury's going to find them not guilty because the jury has been instilled with the belief that cops are good. If he would have just complied, that's going to be the argument, guarantee it. If he would have just complied, none of this would have happened. Well, if he would have just complied, they would have hit him. If he would have just complied after the first time they hit him, they would have had to hit him a second, third, fourth, fifth, kicked him in the head, hit him with a baton. If you or I were to do anything that he did, we would not be getting out of jail. Look at Justin. Justin Irvin right now is sitting in fucking federal holding in some county jail in Florida over a steel fucking card. Yet these pieces of shit walked on $250,000 bonds. The other 2 or 3 got $350,000 bonds. Regardless, Justin couldn't get out for $10 million. No bonds. But that's just, right? It's criminal justice, right? It's fucking bullshit. But like, it makes me sick. What? You've seen you look at me, what?
I'm watching you talk, but it was funny what T said, because she says a dead giveaway with a clear live stream.
Huh?
It's a dead giveaway with a clear live stream.
Oh. You don't know where I'm at, honey? I go to Nashville, I get a clear live stream too. You don't know where I'm at. I get around, girl.
I get around.
What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? I get around. But if you get pulled over, you better comply. Because if not, you'll probably die.
I bet 4 out of 5.
But you know what?
Oh
yeah, for sure they will be. You know, I beat myself up because is it a us problem or a them problem? It's a them problem for sure, because these dudes are small-minded, weak-minded, ignorant fucking cowards. At the same time, though, we allow it to happen. But, you know, there has to go a point in time where you're like, yeah, fuck that. You know, just fucking, I'm doing it, whatever it may be. You get pulled over, cop, you know. The cop wants to get you out of the car. And this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that this is the way that everybody should handle this or anything like that. I'm trying to play the game the best I can, just like everybody else is. I just want to be let the fuck alone. Really. Just let me the fuck alone. Don't bother me. I don't bother nobody. Don't bother me. Once they ask you to get out of the car, at that point you have opened yourself up for abuse. You're already being abused by being pulled over. But you've opened yourself up to physical abuse. Now, the court system has found that cops tell you to get out of the car. So, why are the courts doing this? You know, government, all the government's complicit in it. You see the president supporting cops, funneling all these fucking up-armored vehicles to all these departments around the country. Who are those up-armored vehicles going to be used against? Oh, it's going to be used against a domestic abuser in a hostage situation where he beats his old lady, and he only beats her because he loves her, though. just like the cops, they protect us because they love you. They beat you and kill you and shit.
Smoke you like a brisket.
Smoke you like a brisket, as Tatum would say. And I bet Tatum. You can tell he's a wife beater, guaranteed, guaranteed. But I would be happy, and I would spend my own money to do this, and I would challenge Brandon Tatum to take me up on this offer. I will be happy to meet you anywhere in the country, anywhere. We'll leave our cell phones behind. We'll take a long drive into the middle of fucking nowhere, and I'll be happy to call you a bitch right to your fucking face, because you're not a badass. You might have thought you were a badass behind that badge, but you're soft. You're super motherfucking soft.
Yeah,
you ain't never got into a fight in your fucking life without backup. Guarantee it. Because nobody who ever has is as fucking dumb as you are. If you look at dumbasses in the world, like if you look at people that support the police for the most part, just as a general statement, people that have lived hard lives and have been in the streets and all this shit, they don't not support cops because they've had problems with cops. They support cops because they see what cops really are. They can't support bitches. I would bet Tatum's never been into an altercation in his life where it's just been him. He's been solely relying on him. So Tatum, you're a bitch. Your wife's a cunt. Your kids are bitches. You come from a whole line of bitches. Granddaddy a bitch, great granddaddy a bitch. It's all bitches. Straight line. Right? Straight line of bitches.
Yeah.
Everybody a bitch in the family. Bitches with dicks.
Big old straight line.
No,
Are you trannies? Is the Tatum family trannies?
If they're transgender, they aren't straight.
No, the straight line is of bitches.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Great granddaddy was a bitch. Tatum was a bitch. Tatum's a bitch. She's a bitch. She's a big fat bitch. She's a bitch. She's a bitch. She's a bitch. But I would do that. I would spend my own money to go meet you anywhere in the country. But you know what would happen? I'd call him a bitch or a coward, and he'd call the cops. he'd have a cell phone tucked away in his fucking fifth pocket or some shit. But Freedom called me a bitch, officer. Go arrest him. I'm so pro-freedom and took an oath. Protect and serve as every penny I was paid was extorted from all the fuckers I said I protected and served. How does that work? Explain this, piglets. Please explain this. We have questions that have been unanswered for fucking years. West Bud Line in America died out in the beaches of Ormond. Yeah. I seen a funny meme today. I might post it. I'll get a strike for it, but I might post it anyway. God, it was hilarious. I haven't showed it to you yet. When you see this shit, you're gonna laugh your ass off. Oh my God, it was funny. But how do you defeat that? Because it's not just Tatum. It's a whole culture. And we, as people who just want to be left alone, just want to live our lives how we choose, keep the money we earn. We don't want no extra, but we sure as fuck don't want any less. We can't get the information out fast enough to defeat the propaganda coming back in. That is why it's the impossible task. We will never win this war. And it's a war. Your government has declared war against you. Bet your ass they have. And they drive around in little fucking cop cars everywhere with blue lights on them and shit. And when they hit their lights, that's threats of violence. You will pull over, or I'm going to call my buddies and we're going to fucking make you pull over, even if it means killing you. Even if it's just for not having a license plate light, which I need to get. They will kill you or some shit like that because, you must obey. You will obey or else. Yeah, Tatum, go ask, check my motherfucking resume, bitch. I don't like obeying very much. Like I said, I'll play the game to a certain extent. After that, it's all bets are off. Or else, yep. That's what it is. Or else. Black. Like a long line of assistant pimps. Show that, man, at least you don't come from a long line of bitches, man. That's and like you have to go watch that video, man. I watched it. I just couldn't believe some of the shit he was saying. Like, you can't be that fucking lost. He said that he doesn't believe all those cops should go to jail.
Let's be fine here.
I wouldn't. I'd at least put it on the floor.
Right there. It's
If you put it in the floor, see, there's a WeatherTech mat, so if it spills, it's going to be caught in the
But it's
mat.
not moving nowhere, right?
Right, but so let's just sit down there, please, just in case.
It's not.
All right,
It's
keep
not.
there.
Listen. It's not flat. It's like got lumps on
All
top.
right, keep there.
So it won't. You know what I mean? Like it's not straight.
Whatever you say.
What are you doing, Silas?
Yeah, I was saying.
Huh?
What's
Oh,
up,
no, that's
brother?
all right.
What am I looking at?
I thought you was ready to walk in. I was going to tell you to wait if you was walking in. Just wait a minute. Just getting this out and that's it. Huh? I sure will.
I don't know. Impossible task. But he said all those cops shouldn't go to jail. He don't think they should. So if I hold some female down while somebody else rapes her, then I shouldn't go to jail, right? Because I didn't rape her, right? Tatum doesn't, and he's always. I tell you what I thought was the most odd thing about it is that he looked at it as the dude was guilty for whatever reason. The dude was automatically guilty. He wasn't innocent. Why didn't he look at it through the eyes of innocence? Like Tyler Nichols did nothing wrong at all, and the cops just pulled down on him, told him to get out of the car, and they jerked his ass out of the car. This shit makes me sick, man, and it makes me sick that it continues to happen. Yet nobody does anything. I tell you what makes me sick, the most sick about the whole the whole thing surrounding it. How many people do you think heard that grown fucking man crying for his mom and didn't do anything? And then you have to ask, well, the probability of nobody hearing it is pretty slim. So if somebody heard it, why wouldn't they help him? And that, right there, is the sickness. People just care more about themselves than they do others. And it doesn't matter that by doing so, down the line, they're eventually going to, feel the same wrath that that person is feeling at that time. But we all do it every day. We drive past people that are pulled over who obviously didn't stop the cops to interact with them. There's always blue lights on and some dude in a clown suit wearing a shiny badge and a gun, believing he has some kind of authority over you because you didn't obey the big white sign with black letters, or your license plate light was out, because your license plate light makes a big difference with them seeing your license plate, because they don't have headlights and shit when it's dark. It's frustrating. I'm sorry if this offends anyone. Fuck cops, man. Did you get that sweatshirt? Speaking of fucking cops, I showed that to the dude I was working for, that fireman guy. He told me a funny story, and that's why he bought it. But he's actually a really cool dude. He told me, so we worked like right next to each other for 2 weeks. So it came up. And it came up a lot. We talked a lot about the cops. Because he works with them all the time. They show up on car accidents and houses burning down. And by the end of the week, he's like, dude, you're right. He's like, I stayed up for hours last night thinking about some of the things you say. And he's like, there's no argument that could ever prove that you're wrong. He's like, I know I'm not wrong about it. But thank you. But you're one more person. So now what you do is you go and educate your people, and we'll keep doing that down the line, and hopefully one day enough people will wake up to what's going on to stop it from happening. In the meantime, though, before that happens, I'll long be knocked off by a government bullet, because apparently I now fit the label of being a domestic terrorist because I say things. I don't know, go figure. Good afternoon, Telling Stewart. How are you? I know your name, I just can't think of it right now. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. There should be a new flavor of Memphis barbecue after that came out. I'm surprised they didn't burn Memphis to the fucking ground. I really am. Well, there's 2 reasons that didn't happen. Number 1 is wintertime. Number 2, the propaganda was, you've seen the family say that, if you're going to protest, do it peacefully. I don't understand the peaceful protest shit. What does peacefully protesting get you? Does your government really give a fuck about your peaceful protest? No, they don't. They sit in their office buildings with their window office looking out at you, laughing at you, eating their steak they just ordered up from downstairs, to then, be carted off from work at 4 o'clock in their limo, their little Jag or something, little four-seater Jag with their chauffeur driving them. They don't give a fuck about you or what you say or your protest. Like, I'm the most anti-violence person in the world. I really am. And it's not because I don't think violence is necessary sometimes, because it obviously is. It's because I've seen enough of it that I know how bad it would be. Now, with that said, have I ever been in a war? No, I haven't been. But I've seen war in the streets firsthand. I've seen terrible shit happen to people firsthand. Whether it be shot, stabbed. I've seen people fucking almost gutted, shot again. I've seen a lot of fucked up shit as a byproduct of the life I once lived. And what I figured out was that in the end, somebody always gets hurt. Somebody always gets hurt. And most times it's going to be the most inexperienced person that gets hurt, or the person with the least amount of backup. So until people come together as a whole, it's a losing fight. But there's some fuckers like me that would rather lose a fight than not fight at all. So, or else doesn't sound like a bad decision sometimes. You know what I mean? Oh, no doubt. No doubt, man. Steve said, look at how successful the revolutionary peaceful protest was, or the civil peaceful protest. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no peaceful government. So I seen a comment today on a Gays and Gizmos. I had to watch the video because of the title. It was clickbait for sure. There was some fucking idiot on there that said something to the effect of, they can't repeal the 2A. That's what he said. Something like that. I just simply said, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that comment or something? And he said something else. And of course, I was by that time, I'd already read 3 or 4 more comments, so I was in dick mode. I said a long time ago that when you have a message on a long timeline, your message gets shorter and shorter and shorter until there's just no message left. And that's kind of where I'm at. So it doesn't matter where I comment, I'm a troll. If I comment on Rebel HQ, which is a far left socialist, authoritarian, it's a socialist channel. It's all socialist there. It's all yuppie fucking socialist. If I comment there, I'm a troll. If I comment on the libertarian channels, I'm a troll. If I comment on the Gays and Gizmos channels, I'm a troll. Like, I can't comment nowhere without being a troll. And so I have to ask myself at some point, if I'm a troll everywhere I go, am I really a troll, or is just everybody else fucked up? I thought your comment said, hey, boogers. I can't see. I think of the damn eye doctor. This is one of those places. Oh, we go during daylight hours. Oh, man, you can't be like that, bro. A lot of it's how you carry yourself. I don't think I've ever had a problem in the middle of the night and anywhere I've went. Most of the problems I've seen were during the day. I personally never, well, I personally have never had a problem, just like being somewhere. I'm not saying I haven't had problems, because I have, but it wasn't just because I was somewhere. It was always because I was somewhere doing something or some shit like that. It was never, I was just walking down the street and over the ride at 3 a.m. I do that shit all the time. Huh? What? Huh? What? What? I don't know, man. But if anybody's, I'm all open for hearing ideals of how you change the minds of bootlickers, because they are by far a disease. They are the worst disease in society. I would say that they are far worse. I mean, they're in the same box. Don't get me wrong. They're in the same box as like the leftist liberals, the self-proclaimed liberals. They're in that same box with them. But I would say that they are worse because the liberals just was they're like, fuck it, we want to burn it to the ground. The bootlickers want to burn it to the ground also, and they support it being burnt to the ground. They're just too stupid to know it. So it's kind of like beating up on a retarded kid. Like, how do you keep beating up on the same retarded kid? Or how do you beat up on the retarded kid without actually having to put your hands on him? Oh, the comment. So somebody left that comment about they can't repeal the 2A. The fucking video was nothing about that. It was about the ATF and the pistol brace shit. And it's the first somebody called me a troll in it. And the dude answered when I asked him that. God damn it, what was I going to say about it? Total brain fart just now. I just hadn't seen something, had a thought. I'm working on loss of sleep today, if you can't tell. I'm pretty tired. I don't know. It don't even matter. But I thought about it twice, so it probably did. What?
No.
What's up, Puddin' Pop?
No,
That's your new nickname.
Diesel gas price or diesel prices.
Diesel price now. Diesel's right under $4.93.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yep. The byproduct of making gasoline is more expensive than the gasoline.
Isn't
Huh.
gasoline?
I wonder why that would be.
Isn't gasoline and diesel just crude oil heated to a certain temperature each?
Yep. Pretty much.
Then why don't we buy our own crude oil?
You could, but you still have to have the equipment to refine it.
How do
We could just heat it up. I mean, I guess we could just try to heat it up and capture the different fuels. But there's more to it than that. There's some additives in it. You gotta put a little dash of that, a little mix here, take a little bit out here. That's how that works. So I think K1 is the first that comes out of it.
K1?
Yeah, carrot. No, that can't be right. No, number 2 diesel is the first that comes out. I think so.
Number 2 diesel is that?
Like what runs in my truck. Then number 1 diesel, which is kerosene, comes out after that. And then gasoline. I think. Fuck, I don't know. I don't remember. Actually, there's a lot of other shit that comes out of it first. I just can't remember. But yeah, diesel fuel's a byproduct of gasoline. They created the diesel engine because they had all this diesel for making gasoline, and they needed something to do with it. Well, they needed a way to make more money. That's what it was. So Mr. Diesel created the diesel engine, and here we are. F250 hoorah! What?
Diesel?
Mr. Diesel. The dude's name was Diesel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Comply or die. And we're watching it progress. You know, every month or so, you see it getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And now they're just so bold, they're beating motherfuckers to death in the street. And like I said, nothing will happen to those dudes in the end. You know why? Because humans are stupid. They're bred in circuses. The circus will go on, and Tyree Nichols will be forgotten about for the most part, just like a long list of other people have been forgotten about. And in the end, they'll find the cops not guilty. If they find them guilty of anything, they'll give them some sweet misdemeanor deal like disorderly conduct or an assault or some shit like that. They're never going to find them guilty on murder too. Never going to happen. And by that time, the people will be calmed down. A new show will have started, another act, and they'll have something else to focus on. It's summertime, so that's always the time for pointing fingers at politicians. Notice people are not pointing fingers at politicians as much right now. Why do politicians not get out as much in the winter? Maybe that's because they're not too worried about people uprising in the winter because people don't like to be cold. In the summertime, though, they're always out there. Just so we got somebody to point fingers at. Fucking Brandon Tatum, you're a bitch, dude. I gotta put that on my bucket list. Call Brandon Tatum a coward bitch to his face on film and post it. Just because he acts like nobody will do it. I bet he's been called a bitch 6,000 times in his career. I bet he never did shit about it. But he never wants to take off that badge and gun. And don't say they can't do it, because I've seen it fucking happen. I've seen firsthand somebody take their badge off. I've told that story before. Granted, he did a bunch of time in federal prison. later on, but I watched him do it. At least he had the balls to do it. The rest of the cops talk shit, hit their man down button, come in with the goon squad with their fucking helmets on and shit. They won't fight a fair fight. It's always got to be leaned in their favor, just like Uvalde. The 400 cops there, and because they didn't know exactly what was going on inside, they wouldn't enter that room because the odds have to swing in their favor by a very high degree before they will fight a fight. That's why they don't call you up and tell you they're coming to kick your door in. That's why they do it in the middle of the night when you're most likely to be asleep, or they've checked your phone data and they find out when you're asleep. Is because they have to have a higher likelihood of success coming out unscathed than they do of not success and coming out fucked up. Because they need more. They need good thugs. Here's an interesting one for you too, though. In 2020, and you can look this up, there were 662,000 and change cops in this country, right? Well, we've been hearing for the past 3 or 4 years that all these people are quitting. They're done with the fleet. Nobody wants to do the job. All this other bullshit. Go look and see how many cops there are today. Go look. It's up by 50%. How is that when all these cops are quitting? All the good ones are quitting, and that'll be something that's sold with this bullshit too. Is that they quit hires of these guys 2 years ago because everybody was quitting, and it's not the cops' fault. They don't represent the police. He said that shit too. They don't. These cops don't represent the Memphis Police Department. They represent every fucking cop in the country because this shit happens every day in this country. I would love to know the real number of people that are beaten by cops in this country every single day. I bet. I would bet. I forget how many interactions there are a day with cops. It's a bunch. I want to say it's like 600,000.
Huh?
It's a bunch. I bet there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are physically abused by the cops. Well, I mean, people are physically abused by the cops every time they get cuffs thrown on them. But I mean, like, the beat down, I would like to know that number. Of course, they don't track that number because if they did, we would know. And it'd be hard for the bootlickers to argue their own numbers. Bitch potato. But anyway, I got a video posted and I was basically said in it what I just did now. Maybe a little more. I'm telling you, it's no different than a bunch of Germans support the SS, brown shirts and Gestapo. It's the same shit, the same tactics, the same propaganda. Yet people are just too stupid to just live their lives, doing all the bullshit rather than looking into anything to find out why things are the way they are.
You want to sound crazy?
Crazy? I was crazy once.
So in 2013, 1,100 people were killed by police, right?
Yep.
In 2018, 30,000 people were killed by police.
Nah, that can't be right. That ain't right. Let me see it. Let me see it.
Oh, it says police brutality. Oh, police brutality. Not bad. Not killed.
Yeah. I mean, but you're just supposed to comply until people start taking up for other people. That's really going to be some people's only choice is to obey. Because even if you Tatum calls it curbside justice. Just get their badge number and go file a complaint on them and take them, sue them and get you some money and go get you a new Gucci bag. That fucking piece of shit had the balls to say that. Yeah, sue them, or they get qualified immunity and then all the public pays it. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. Let's be a part of the extortion racket called taxation. That fixes shit. Fucking idiot. His bitch has got to be dumber than a box of fucking rocks.
Huh?
Tatum's wife. Wonder if that would get him to fight.
Right.
Calling his wife a cunt or something. I just thought of something gross. Can't say it with kids in the car. Cover your ears. Hey, you got yours covered? I seen you shake your head silly the first time I said it. And I see you smiling. Now I hear you laughing. Good try, though. Good try. All right, I'm gonna go, guys. Stay safe, and like that's some of the shit people need to be thinking about. I think we're getting closer and closer to that time. I think for me personally, that it's just a matter of time at this point. Now the definitions are being drawn up for what you are because you don't support the Gestapo in the brown shirts. You're a you're a fucking domestic terrorist. That's just funny as hell.
DTs.
Yeah, DTs. That's what Francis calls cops, domestic terrorists. That's what he always calls them. He never calls them cops. They're DTs. My God.
Isn't he Irish?
Yes. I keep trying to get him to do a live stream with me and talk about like what happened in Ireland. When they started the gun licensing and all that shit.
Wait, you can own a gun now in Ireland?
Certain ones.
Like 22s?
Yeah, I think farmers can have other shit, but you can't have like ARs and shit like that. I don't think they're allowed to have any semi-auto pistols. Maybe they can. I could be wrong about that. I had this conversation with him before. He's fun to talk to, though. Actually, I'm going to call him as soon as I hang up the phone. Or hang up, get off this.
Did you see where that guy was running from police and he
Did he get away?
Huh?
Did he get away?
No, he died inside of a pillar because he
Oh,
fell.
yeah. I've seen that happen before. I haven't seen it physically happen, but I've heard about it happening. Like where people sneak down and shit and then they're stuck and can't get out.
Yeah, he fell.
They'll suffocate, break their necks, all kinds of shit.
He was on top of Home Depot.
If I ever see anybody run from the cops, I'll help them. Hey, get in, lay down. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I? That'd be a patriotic act.
Yeah, he fell into one of the pillars when he was on top of the roof.
God, these people are so fucking stupid, man. They really are. When you think about it, like it infuriates me how stupid people are. Just dumb. Dumb all day. Dumb all fucking day long. Every day when they wake up, just dumb. Just herd animals. Grazing away. But have a good day, guys. Stay safe. It's got to end sometime, some way.